Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my Witchy Cottage greenhouse makeover. If you missed part 1, go check it out. Last week I redid the outside of the greenhouse and made it more like a witchy cottage. And this week I'm going to do the inside and make it more of like a witchy book nook to go read books when it's cold outside. So if you're new here and you like home decor and DIYs on a budget, stick around by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video. All right, let's get into it. All right, so here is the greenhouse, the inside of it, what we're working with here. I really haven't done much in here. Well, I haven't done anything at all, actually. It's just housing a bunch of stuff that we used for the garden this year. We kind of just threw it all in there. So the only thing I did do was I covered the floor with that black cloth to keep out weeds. So now I need to go ahead and clean it out. So basically I just took all the tools out of there. And we're going to put those in the barn to get rid of those. And then I'm just going to place everything that I want to keep in here underneath the shelves. We're going to cover up the shelves anyways, so it doesn't matter what it looks like underneath the shelves. I just tried to organize it as best as I could, keeping all of like the seed trays together. And then those 2 white bins are from IKEA, and those worked out perfectly to hold all of the little things. Next, I wanted to put a floor in here, so I had some leftover pavers from a different project, so that's what I'm going to be using. I also had some play sand to help me level those pavers out. I know it's not the right sand to use, but it worked out. So these pavers are from a project we did up by our house, so I had just enough left to finish the floor of the greenhouse. I couldn't go all the way to the edge. That's why I put everything under the shelves. I just went to the end of the shelves on the one side, and then I went to, well, I didn't want to cut any also, so I just went as far as I could on the other side. So it left a gap on both sides, but it doesn't matter because I'll be covering the shelves up, obviously. So you won't see that. And then the other side, since there was a gap left, I did go ahead and put down some gravel that we had left over from this project as well. And that helped out. And this was just a quick way to get a floor in here. And it's not perfect, but it's definitely a lot more level. And it probably will help keep maybe some heat in, and it'll be easier to walk in and keep all the weeds out. So now I'm just going to go ahead and hang up the curtains underneath the shelves. I did buy curtain rods for these, but the brackets to hold the curtain rods stuck out way too far, and I couldn't figure out how to get them on without it sticking out and looking weird. So what I ended up doing, and you can see here, is I'm just taking the curtains and I'm stapling them up to the back of the shelves. And that worked out fine. Again, this is a greenhouse. It doesn't have to be perfect. So the curtains are just a little bit too long too, but it still worked out. All right, so I got this chair at the thrift store for, actually it was half off of $7.99. So I got it for around $4. And I thought it would be perfect for the greenhouse, but it did need a little bit of a makeover. So I got this fabric off of Amazon. I only bought 1 yard. I wish I had bought 2 because I couldn't cover the top with the same fabric, but I'm going to do the seat in this floral print fabric. So I just went ahead and removed the seat cushion from the chair. And then I went ahead and removed the old fabric and got rid of that because I didn't need that anymore. And it looked like the foam and everything was in decent condition. So I took it inside and I got to work on covering it. I haven't covered too many seat cushions, but it was pretty standard. I just laid the fabric out and used my staple gun and pulled tight to make sure that there wasn't that many creases, or hopefully no creases, but I did get a few. And then I just stapled it as best as I could all the way around so that way the fabric looked good on the other side. So this was the easy part. The seat was a cinch to do. I got this all covered and I cut the excess fabric from around the bottom there, so that way there wouldn't be anything hanging down. And then I did come back with some black fabric that I already had, and I just went ahead and placed that over the top of that, so that that way you just couldn't see the bottom, and it just looked nicer if the chair got flipped over, which honestly it doesn't matter. So and then I just cut the excess fabric for that as well. And then the seat cushion was all finished, and like I said, that was the easy part of this project. I've done seat cushions before, so I wasn't too worried about this, but then I had to do the back cushion. And I've never done a back cushion like this, so I just started ripping off the old fabric. And the back part, I got that out first, and then I was able to do the front, and then the foam came out. All right, so we're gonna cover the back side of the chair with this black fabric. And this is just like a black satin fabric from Amazon because I didn't have enough of the floral fabric. So this worked out fine. So I just laid the fabric over top of the back of the chair and then cut off the excess because we'll be using that later on. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and staple the fabric to the chair, and there is like a little tiny lip to be able to staple the fabric to. And this staple gun was big, and it was really hard to get those staples in and pull the fabric tight. So I did as best as I could and got that in. And then came the hard part, which was putting the foam back in and covering the foam. And in hindsight, what I should have done is I should have laid the chair down and then proceeded to cover it. But no, I did it upright and my foam kept sliding, and I was just having a heck of a time getting this stapled in. So don't make my mistake. This is why I do it on camera for you guys, so you guys don't have to make the same mistake. So I got it stapled in. I finally did get it stapled in, and I got it all done, and I cut off the excess fabric from around the chair, and then all I needed to do was cover up those staples. So I got this cording from Amazon again, and it was too thin. It actually needed to be a little bit thicker, but that's okay because I figured it out. I went around one time, you just hot glue it around and make it as close to the wood as possible. And then I went ahead and cut that off, and then I started a second row so that way it would cover up all of the staples perfectly. So you can see I didn't get the fabric the best pulled tightly, but I think it still looks fine. And I did come back with a steamer and steam all of the wrinkles out, because I know you guys are probably like, oh my God, there's so many wrinkles. And there was, and I probably should have ironed this fabric first, but I don't have an ironing board, so I came back and steamed it later on. And it turned out fine. Again, this chair's going in the greenhouse. I love it. I think it turned out perfect. All right, now it's time to see the collection of things that I got for the greenhouse. I thrifted things, I collected things from my house, got a few things from Amazon, collected some flowers and dried them. So there's a lot of things to put out. I got this glass piece from Goodwill. I put some dried hydrangeas in it. I already had this base, and I just added these Dollar Tree glass vases to them, and then I filled them up with some rocks and some dirt to make little terrariums. I had already had a Venus flytrap, and then we had some cactus that was inside my house, so I thought maybe it would do better in the greenhouse. And then I had a cutting of one of my pothos plants, so I put that in there. And then I thrifted this little shelf from Goodwill for like $4. I thought it was perfect for this area. I added some dried oranges. This little chest I actually got in an antique store, and you can put spices in it. It's for spices. I got that little cauldron tea light from Walmart for like $5 this year. And then of course I have this little antique cauldron that I have. And then I have some succulents. Those are all fake, by the way. They are not real, but I put those in the corner there. The top shelf, I thrifted that terracotta pot that's made in Italy for like, I think $6 or $7. I have a set of books that I put on the shelf with a couple of cat bookends that I got off of Amazon. I really wanted to thrift some bookends, but couldn't find any. I got those thrifted terracotta pots for $4 and $5, and then a little vase from Dollar Tree up there. I have some more books in a basket, my terracotta planter that I already had with some dirt in it. I already had that botanical print. I just put it in a frame that I already had lying around. I thrifted those baskets and a few other things that I just had lying around my house. I thrifted that scale, and then I added a plant in that macrame hanger, and that was it. This is how it turned out. I love how this space turned out. It is the perfect little witchy she shed cottage book nook area. I can't wait to go and read a book on a cool fall day outside in this greenhouse. Hopefully it will help take away those winter blues, and it will stay fairly warm in there. It smells awesome in there with all the dried florals. And I just absolutely love this area and cannot wait to spend a lot of time here. Thank you all so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.